Ekunrere will bring you details of the news after this break. Do stay with us.
In this country, I don't lose hope. Oh my God, jackpot.
Leaving the country may not be the solution that you think it is. Don't make leaving Nigeria the only solution to your life's challenges. Japa because you want to, but stop raising it as a solution to national issues that you can work on and fix. Nigeria will always be your home, and together we can make it better.
This message is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM, Iroyin.
And you're welcome back from that short break. Please do note that you can listen to us via our website on www.diamondfm.net. You can also watch us live on YouTube at Diamond FM Iroyin. Now the news in detail. The federal government has cancelled $717.7 million in undisbursed World Bank intervention financing designed to revive Nigeria's struggling electricity sector. The cancellation followed a formal request by the federal government and a joint decision by both parties to discontinue financing under the Power Sector Recovery Performance-Based Operation due to evolving sector realities and the inability to achieve key reform milestones. According to documents obtained from the World Bank, the development effectively terminates the remaining portion of a $1.52 billion power sector recovery program. The cancelled amounts represent the entire undisbursed balance remaining under the program. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has been cleared by an Abuja Federal High Court to contest in the 2027 presidential election. Recall that last week, a faction of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) under the leadership of Kabiru Tanimu Turaki offered a waiver to Jonathan as the only presidential candidate of the party. However, an Abuja-based lawyer, John Mary Jideobi, instituted a suit seeking an order restraining Jonathan from presenting himself as any political party as a candidate for the 2027 presidential election. But in his ruling on Tuesday, Justice Peter Lifu held that Jonathan could participate in the election as a contestant. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has emerged as the winner of the African Democratic Congress ADC presidential primary in Zamfara and Yobe states as the party continues its nationwide primary ahead of the presidential election. In Zamfara State, the chairman of the ADC Presidential Primary Election Committee and returning officer Namadi Musa announced the results in Gusau, stating that Atiku secured 60,500 votes, defeating fellow aspirants Mohammed Ayatuddin, who got 446 votes, and Rotimi Amechi, who got 191 votes. Meanwhile, Atiku also emerged victorious in Yobe State, polling 44,841 votes. Returning officer Mam Kiari announced that Ayatuddin secured 365 votes, while Amechi received 303 votes. The Borno State government has temporarily closed and relocated Government Day Secondary School, Musa, in Askira Uba local government area, following the abduction of 42 students by suspected Boko Haram insurgents. The Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, Lawan Wakibe, announced the decision during a visit to the community on Monday. According to a statement by Governor Babagana Zulum's spokesperson, Dauda Iliya, the relocation is part of measures under the Safe School initiative to protect students and ensure learning continues in a safer environment. The statement added that the affected students will continue their education at Government Day Secondary School, Uba. The Oyo State Police Command has stated that it has neutralized 3 suspected kidnappers and rescued an abducted victim during a joint security operation in Otu, located in the Okeogun area of Oyo State. According to the police public relations officer in the state, Alayonde Olayinka, on Tuesday, the operation was carried out in collaboration with local hunters and other security agencies as part of efforts to tackle violent crimes and insecurity across the state. According to the police, the operation followed a distress report received on May 25th, 2026, from local hunters who were on a hunting expedition in Otu when they allegedly came under attack by suspected kidnappers. However, no casualty was recorded among the hunters during the initial attack. Following the alert, security operatives, local hunters, other agencies were mobilized to the area, eventually overpowering the suspects and resulting in the killing of 3 suspected kidnappers. The national headquarters of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has deployed over 56,000 personnel across the Federation to ensure a hitch-free Eid el-Kabir celebration. Assistant Commandant of Corps and National Public Relations Officer of the NSCDC, Babawale Afolabi, disclosed this in a statement issued on Tuesday, saying the massive deployment is aimed at protecting lives, property, and critical national assets and infrastructure. The statement said the Commandant General of the NSCDC, Professor Hamed Abubakar Audi, who ordered the deployment, also directed the immediate mobilization of operational vehicles, ambulances, boats, and K9 units to ensure rapid response during the emergencies. And lastly, on the local scene, as nearly 2 million pilgrims from around the world gathered on the plains of Arafat on Saturday to perform the most sacred rite of the Hajj, the Muslim Media Watch Group of Nigeria has issued a wide-ranging statement calling for spiritual renewal, an end to insecurity, and decisive action against criminal networks plaguing the nation. With approximately 50,000 Nigerian pilgrims among the faithful in Saudi Arabia, the group reminded Nigerian Muslims observing the Arafat fast that the day demands a recommitment to Islamic values, including complete abstinence from evil and bad behavior. However, the statement signed by the group's national coordinator, Alhaji Ibrahim Abdullahi, quickly pivoted to Nigeria's worsening security crisis, urging all those involved in terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, and insurgency to abandon what it called the devilish act. The group also warned that involvement in such crimes amounts to disbelief in God and carries the severest punishment on the day of judgment. And that's the news on the hour, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. We now go on a break, and when we return, we bring you foreign news where Senegal's president replaces prime minister. Please stay with us.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
And you're welcome back from the break. You're still listening to the news on the hour, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM, Iroyin. We now move on to the foreign scene. Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye has replaced Ousmane Sonko with economist Amadou Al-Aminou Lo as Prime Minister, while the National Parliament prepares a tense election on Sonko's reinstatement as lawmaker. Praised for his expertise in financial systems, Lo takes office as Senegal grapples with a debt burden reaching 132% of GDP and a suspended $1.8 billion IMF program. Meanwhile, the dismissal of Sonko marks the climax of months of tensions between the two men as Faye seeks renewed talks with IMF, while Sonko advocates a sovereign domestic first economic approach. Still on the foreign scene, the United States said it launched new strikes on southern Iran on Monday, targeting Iranian missile sites and boats attempting to place mines. According to a statement by the U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, the strikes were taken in self-defense and were designed to protect U.S. troops from threats posed by Iranian forces, adding that forces continued to use restraint during the ongoing ceasefire. However, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, on Tuesday said it had downed a U.S. drone and fired at a fighter jet and another drone that had entered Iranian space, stressing that it had the legitimate right and definite right to retaliate against any ceasefire violations by the U.S. And that's it on the foreign scene. We now move on to our sports stories. Remo Stars Football Club have vowed to make an instant return to the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) following their relegation on the final day of the 2025-2026 season. The Sky Blue Stars were held to a 1-1 draw by Bendel Insurance at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City on Sunday. Remo Stars, who won the NPFL title for the first time last season, finished the campaign in 17th position with 47 points from 38 matches. Meanwhile, the Ikene club became the fourth reigning NPFL champion to suffer relegation while defending their title following the footstep of defunct stationery stores, Shooting Stars and Bayelsa United. Still in sports news, Mexico has offered to host Iran's national football team during the 2026 World Cup after the United States refused overnight stays on its territories. President Claudia Sheinbaum said Mexico has no problem accommodating the squad as it travels from its matches after logistical complications arose with the United States. According to Sheinbaum, Iranian officials are now considering the northern border of Tijuana as a potential base camp, which would allow the team train and stay in Mexico while traveling to matches scheduled in the United States, including fixtures in Inglewood, California and Seattle. Sheinbaum also noted that health protocols could be applied if necessary, particularly in cases involving infectious diseases across the country. And with that story, we've come to the end of News on the Hour. But before we go, here is the recap of the major highlights. Federal government cancels $717 million World Bank power intervention loan. Court clears Goodluck Jonathan to contest 2027 presidential election. Atiku wins ADC presidential primaries in Zamfara's Yobe. Police neutralize 3 kidnapped suspects in Oyo, rescue victim. On the foreign scene, Senegal president replaces prime minister. And in sports news, Remo Stars vow instant return to NPFL after relegation. Did you know that on this day in 1967, former head of state General Yakubu Gowon decreed the division of Nigeria into 12 states, replacing the former 4 regions: Northern, Eastern, Western, and Mid-Eastern. And for news coverage or information about happenings around you, kindly contact Diamond FM newsroom number on 0916 062 7526. On behalf of the production crew, I am Nedu Okori. Thank you for listening to your Shining Supreme station, and do stand by for the news on the hour in Yoruba. A wonderful afternoon to you.
Orúkọ mi ni Yèyélúà Tóyìn Adégbọlá. Mo sì ti lé ní 50 ọdún láyé láàyè àtàyè ìdẹ̀ra.
Àrá tó ń fa ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ omíyalé àgbàrá ya ṣọ́ọ̀bù, ilẹ̀ rírì, ilé dídàwó àti àwọn
The 7 FM, àwọn náà ní ilé-iṣẹ́ tó kojú. Gbégbó lọ́wọ́ kọjá kọta ní wìrìwìrì.
Ẹ káàsán, a kí wa pé
ẹ wá sẹ́ ẹ́ amọ̀pọ̀ ti wùwà ìbàjẹ́.
Diamond 80.
ẹ wá sẹ́ ẹ́ amọ̀pọ̀ ti wùwà ìbàjẹ́.
Diamond 88.7 Ìlọrin.
ìgbésẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n gbé nínú ìwé kan tí àpọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí kọjá wípé lókòpá nínú ètò ìdìbò ààrẹ ilẹ̀ yìí. Wáyé o, ìgbà nínú gùzò wípé Àtíkù ó ní ìbò tó tó 1000 bí wọ́n ṣe kó àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí wọ́n tó ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá lẹ́yẹ ẹ̀ka iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ṣèwé wọ́n gbá ìpè pàjáwìrì kan ní 5,550 káàkiri tìbútòrò. pé gbogbo àwọn láti kàyìn Diamond 88.7 tó wà nílọrin ní ìpínlẹ̀ Azongo padà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọlẹ́gbẹ̀mọ aṣòfin. Amẹ́ríkà ti ṣe ìkọlù alágbára mìíràn sí agbègbè gbónẹ́tọ̀ láti gbẹ̀san tilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà sàṣẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ikọ̀ ọ̀hún tó fi ìlú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ ṣebùgbé ló ti fèrè balẹ̀. Ṣàlàyé pé ilẹ̀ Mexico òní kò ní nǹkan kan gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣòro láti gba tó lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí àwọn kókó náà rèé. A kà fún yín pọ́lẹ̀ ti fagilé ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. A kà fún yín pé iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ti já ìdásí ìpínlẹ̀ 12 ó sì fi wọ́n rọ́pò